Alrighty, in this video I'm going to show you how to do an isometric at-home exercise for what's called pelvic approximation, which is a fancy way of kind of saying trunk rotation. We can rotate our spine by rotating our rib cage on top of our pelvis. We can also rotate our spine by rotating our pelvis on our rib cage. And so in this isometric we're going to be doing that second option where the pelvis is moving on the fixed rib cage. What you want to do is lay down, and then I'll show you on the side over here on my left side. So what you'll do is you'll find somewhere you can lay down, and then you'll sort of have your elbows resting by your sides. Then you'll take, in this example, your left foot and you'll put your heel either just below your knee or just above your knee. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slight attempt to rotate your chest and rib cage to the left. What you'll notice is that I'm just kind of trying to rotate to the left. I'm not actually spinning to the left or letting my head come up or anything like that. I'm just kind of bracing through my shoulder blade and my elbow on this side to kind of lightly try to turn this way, just enough to feel some contact there. Then what we're actually going to do here is we're going to take our pelvis and we're going to elevate it and lift up and over by engaging muscles on the left side of the core here. So what we're not doing is this big stretch over here. It's a very small amount of movement where you slightly initiate by rotating to the left. Then you engage this to push this bone on the front of your pelvis up towards the ceiling, creating a little bit of space between your SI joint and the ground, engaging through your core. Another thing that can go wrong on this one is if you watch my leg here, when people kind of get the first rotation part down, they'll end up pushing it across with their leg and then saying, I don't really feel anything in my core, I just feel it in my hip. You almost want to think about taking this front bony part of your pelvis called your ASIS and your knee to the ceiling. So that slight rotation to the left in this example. And then I'm trying to kind of push those up. If I go too far, it'll start to feel like a stretch on the backside. We just want to create a little bit of space with that initial rotation, and then a little bit of space more by engaging the muscles here on the front side of your core to then kind of just lift this up and over a little bit while continuing to slightly rotate to the left. So in a lot of ways, I call this exercise the mason jar, because when you open up a mason jar, you spin the bottom and the top in opposite directions. You know, you can just spin the bottom one direction or just the top one direction, but you'll get the most out of it if you try to spin them in opposite directions. So that's what we're doing, is we're trying to take our upper body this way, boom, while we try to take our lower body this way, getting that mason jar kind of effect while we spin and hold that position, and then letting it drop back down with control, maintaining contraction here. Same thing on the opposite side. It would be trying to rotate my body to the right, and then a little bit of lift up and over with my pelvis here by pulling it up with my core, not by stretching it out, not by letting my leg flop over to carry it, trying to push that up and over with that slight turn to the right in that example. And that's how you do a very nice pelvic approximation, trunk rotation, there we go, trunk rotation isometric at home.